What's going on? Thought I'd make a video about Bitcoin real quick because everything kind of worked out like I thought. I have a lot to go over, but I just want to point out a couple things. This was a hyperwave in 2018, played out exactly like that. This was a hyperwave in 2021 or whenever that, 2022, whatever, 2021. Went boom, boom, came all the way back down. Boom. And then now we are not in a hyperwave. And you can see, well, I guess you can't see this right here. See this giant rise, which brought us to the first, big number, 61,000. And then as it crashed, you can see how far down it came underneath this white line right here, this is all strength. And then when it came back up and hit an all-time high again, it was so weak compared to here. So it went really high, came back, whiplash, came up, and then all the way back down below this white line here. So where the strength finally, it started to turn around back in 2022 in July. And then it creeped out and then eventually built some strength. And then from here, which basically you could take this line down. You could really drive it all the way down to here. But right now, I was looking at where it really took off. So anyway, the first rise, you can see it didn't get as high as this one, but it went up and set an all-time high. And then it crashed down, got weaker, but it only came down to this red line here. And then when it took back off, it actually set a new all-time high, but it was above this. So that shows strength. So that's good. So it went down, got stronger, hit an all-time high, came back down, hit an all-time high again, which this is not good. This is too low. This is weak compared to this one. And this one. So that's why it's falling. If you can see closely here, it's actually way down here already. And it's come back and hit exactly what I said. When I said back here, I said it was going to 94,000. It did. It hit that. Once it went below it, it came all the way down and hit this long-term average and then stuck. You can see exactly what it did. It's exactly what I said. It was going to come down to 94. If it breaks that, then I was like, it's going to 84, which it came down to actually 80. And then it kind of hovered around and came back to 84 here. And now it's sort of in this mix to where it could go either way, but I think it's going up from here. I think from it hit what I was talking about, then it came back and hit the green line. It may come back down again, 84,000 or so, but I don't see it getting below this 82 unless the markets crash and something big happens. But this already turning, the strength is starting to turn. And you're going to see that happen. Doesn't really matter if it lasts a couple more weeks, but it's on a 7. So 8, 9 gets us into Christmas. Boom. January 1st, I think that's when it takes off again. And then we're going to see 140. So that's what I see for Bitcoin. And obviously anything can happen. There's a 25% chance it's coming down to 73,000 probably. But I'd say 50% it's going to come back down to 84. But I think that we're going to be above this red line on January 1st. It'll be coming back, and then we're going to see 140 before we see 70 ever again. If we ever see 70 again, I don't think we will, but I'm not really positive about anything in this kind of shit because you never know. Bigger people than I are in charge of it. So anyway, the other thing I wanted to show everybody was what gold had done. I put a video out weeks ago, and I said, gold's on a 9. It's going to drop for 2 weeks. It's exactly what happened. Dropped for 2 straight weeks, and then it turned, and now it's been on its way back up. So gold did exactly what I thought it would do in that video when it was on a 9. I made that video. So that's what's going on with gold, and you can see the strength of gold is still up. It's not going anywhere. Silver's the same way. Silver's going to keep printing all-time highs. because they all know that our money's garbage. But you can see that 9 was on, the silver and gold were both on a 9. They both fell 2 weeks, and then silver has really outpaced gold because it's so scarce and it's used everywhere for everything. And they are out of it across the globe. Everyone's shutting down, not selling their silver. So, and then there's always NVIDIA to look at, which I find interesting. I'm sure everyone's still got their 401ks in this puppy, but you can see here, it printed a high, all-time high back then was, 140, and then it crashed down here, and then the new all-time high of 200 and whatever, it was weak when it got there. So it hasn't proven anything. All it's proven to me is that it's coming down here, which means it's going to fall, I believe, somewhere to here, to the 140s. And then that'll be around January, and that'll take off again as a fake out, and that's going to come up here in April-ish, probably March, April. It's going to run back up, fake everybody out. Everyone's going to think everything's fine, and then it's going to come back down and probably pierce this line and come somewhere in here. That's just my belief, because I know what the fuck's going on the back end of everything. All these people are, there's just too much money's piled into this when it's just the internet bubble all over again. I don't give a shit what anybody says. But that's what I really got right now. I guess XRP, I could look at that real quick. It's just following Bitcoin, doing whatever. You can see here it's weak. Same thing. It printed a high, and then it basically printed a higher high at a weakness. And now it's down here just waiting for things to turn around. Good news is, it did hit a 9 last week, and right now we're on a 1, so there's really no place for it to go. Like, there's no number down here that I feel like it needs to hit. There's no, like, come back and touch this. It spent so much time down low and did come up here, so basically it's just kind of nipping at this box. If I drew a box from here over to this high, whoops, I would say that it's filling in from this red line to that line right there. That's what's happening right now. Boom, boom, boom. There's enough action in there that it could come back down into the 170 or $1.70 range. And that's probably as weak as it's going to get. And then it'll turn around too. From here, you'll start seeing some strength. Next time I make a video, you'll probably see it up here at 3 something. I'd imagine March. I see it following whatever Bitcoin does too. I mean, eventually it's going to decouple a little bit, which it has in the past big time. You can see it's not the same at all as Bitcoin. But you can see the strength. Bitcoin's way down here, and it's about to turn, and it didn't fall far because it kept the strength. So it's now kind of just getting ready to get out of this little red corner right in through here, and then it's going to take off again, I believe. So that's all I got. That's my main thing for the day. I don't think there's anything else anyone really cares about Ethereum. Like, I barely watch Ethereum, even though I'm building on Base, which is Ethereum. But it's weak too. You can see everything in crypto follows Bitcoin, but it actually had a pretty good high right here. You can see it was stronger than this one, so it's an up pattern. So it doesn't matter. Whatever Bitcoin does, everything follows, but I think you're going to see it back up in the hitting 5,000 probably next year, because everybody's using that for a lot of their back end, like I am. So other than that, good stuff happening. Just kind of don't freak out if you're in any of this stuff. If you have gold, silver, hold on to it. Bitcoin, good time to buy. You know, you can wait, see if it drops a couple thousand, but at this point, you probably did that back here, probably did that back here, probably did that, sold it when it was somewhere in this place. But now the banks are about to turn everything, and you're going to see all the Clarity Acts coming out, all kinds of good stuff's happening. So that's what I got. have a great day. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you soon.